Welcome back to Fire Emblem Heroes. Today we'll be doing a summoning session on the Choose Your Legends 5 heroes, new heroes, Keepers of Faith. We will be sparking at least twice. Mostly, we do want them all. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Marianne, but she's still a pretty unique unit in her own right. So I will be going for all. I'll be going full circles to try to get as many copies of them as I possibly can. I got my tickets, so let's begin. We'll start here. Alright, so for Choose Your Legends 5, I'm actually surprised what they did with the heroes for this year's Choose Your Legends. Especially, we'll talk about them in order. We'll start with Marv. I'm surprised that Marv is still an infantry unit though. I was sure they might make him like an armor or a cavalry just to differentiate him from his legendary form, because he just ends up being his legendary form with more. So he completely outclasses his own legendary form, both in stats and his special. Legendary Marv still, of course, has the niche that he can just fight and kill like literally every dragon without any problem, because he can just attack them without being countered. He guarantees doubles on them, so he has that at least. So, but Brave Marv is just much stronger unit than that. So I was surprised that they kept him infantry. I knew he was going to be a sword. There's no way you can have Marv without the falchion. So for me, that was always a given that he was going to be a sword unit. Moving on to Erica. I'm surprised that she was a lance, not because I didn't think she could be a lance unit, but because as far as lance units go, most people thought the Gatekeeper was going to be a lance unit. So most people had that specific weapon on lockdown for him. So he was just working around everybody else. Like, okay, if he's going to get that weapon, what will everybody else get? So originally I thought that Erica might be an axe unit, kind of like Ephraim. And since he's an armor unit, I thought she might be a flyer unit, since she already has an infantry, an armor, and a cavalry version. So she doesn't have a flyer version yet. But she turned out to be a cavalry lance unit, so very similar to legendary Ephraim in that regard. So legendary Erica, as a unit, she's pretty unique, being hyper offensive lance cavalier. Right now, the most used lance cavaliers you will encounter is probably what's his name? Duzel, not Duzel. Different old man. I cannot remember his name. Pretty sure it starts with a D, but I know Duzel is the one that is with La Rochelle. So, but yeah, there's pretty much only one Lance Cavalier that is currently being used, and he's different because he's mostly a tank unit as opposed to Erica being a player phase hyper offensive unit with a lot of extra damage from both her weapon and her special B slot. Okay, so Marv is the first one to come home. Marv, Prince of Altea. You can see you look in your eye, the result is unmatched. Alright, his minus attack, not so great. Plus speed is good though. We'll mark you as a brave hero. So yeah, Erica. Both her weapon, damage reduction, extra damage from both her weapons and her B skills. The brand new A skill that she introduces, Swift Surge, I think it's called. All of this just make her an incredibly powerful player face unit. Being able to reduce damage, heal off the damage you do, being able to do extra damage. All of these things make her a very powerful unit that moves in player phase. Unfortunately, this doesn't leave her a lot of power for enemy phase. Being hyper offensive just means that your enemy phase tends to suffer. However, she does mitigate this a little bit by having a Canto, and not like Canto Remainder, which is the inheritable type of Canto, but actual Canto 2, so being able to move 2 spaces afterwards. That does help her be able to hit and get out. Of course, you could always run her with like a Gale Force setup, but on the teams that I think that she would be best against, with how do I say this? The things that she would be used best against with like a cav line are also the things that she would be able to do. She'll be just too strong, so she probably wouldn't be able to Gale Force like against a cav line, because she'll go in and probably one shot before and not be able to get a Gale Force off. So that is something to keep in mind. Mostly because her weapon has effective against cavalry, so there's a high chance that you just one shot whatever you're trying to kill before you even get to Gale Force. Which, yeah, so that would not be a good thing, of course. That would just, what you want is, if you want to Gale Force, then you might have to lower her power, but if you lower her power, then you kind of need her power to be able to activate Heavy Blade. So it just becomes this game of like, she has to be able to kill the enemy but not be too strong to just one shot him. But overall, really probably one of the best of the 4 in terms of raw power. But all 4 of them are different enough that I wouldn't say one is better than another one. Alright, so now for the first place winners, we'll go with Marianne. I'm not sure why they didn't just give her dance. I mean, they could have just given her like the special dance and like sing or dance on top of it. If that was the whole point, to making her a dancer. I think that, of course, that would have dropped her BST, make her so she would have ended up being the lowest BST unit of all 4 of them. I mean, still higher than any other ranged dancer in the game right now. But yeah, I mean, they could have just given her dance, so she would be able to like go hit something, activate her dance special. Like, keep the dance special. That's pretty unique. But if she cannot attack, she can still be of support by being able to dance. So she should have gotten dance. I mean, usually I know that unless you're a healer, they don't give you a assist skill and a special. But I mean, this is Choose Legend, so they could have like uh, just given her that, even if she ends up being the only unit in the game with like an entirely full kit. I mean, she was a full Choose Your Legends winner. All right, we got a Gatekeeper, who is actually a true winner, but well, of Choose Your Legends getting the most votes. But yeah, greetings. What a wait, this isn't a monastery, Oscar. Well, thanks for having me. All right, plus defense is good. Minus attack not so great, so that's the second one that is minus attack. So we need Erica and Marianne. But yeah, back to Marianne. Yeah, since she pretty much won female votes for Choose Legends, I would have been okay if they gave her like a true full kit, you know. So yeah, I do believe that they should have given her a dance skill just to run her up, like make like she could either attack and get her dance off that way, or she could just, you know, dance. But back to what she actually got. Her special. So her special is a 3-turn cooldown. She doesn't have a slain weapon, so she has to rely on time pulse to bring it down to 2, and then she has to attack in order to get it down to, well, get it to prog. So she is a very awkward unit to use. Well, at least she seems to be an awkward unit to use. I haven't tried her yet myself, so I don't know. It's just too many conditions to meet in order to get a dance off. Sure, it's a free dance that doesn't require you to. This is Albindi. Require you to sacrifice opportunity of attack, but it's still just a little too much. So this is Green Dual Infantry. Yeah, Green Dual Infantry 3. Pent, I think Pent is Pent the one that has a Dual Infantry 4? I forgot. Still, keeping Halbindial around just for Green Dual Infantry 3 is not a bad idea. We don't want an all-man cavalry, we want a young woman cavalry. Alright, so but yeah, so as for her combat abilities, she is very good, like no follow-up, really high attack and speed, being able to protect herself from debuffing her attack and speed, debuffing the enemy's attack speed, all of that. She revolves a lot around attack and speed, so her doubling I don't think is that much of a problem. With no follow-up, it makes sure that even if the enemy has a quick repose or vengeful fighter or anything like that, she's able to at least prevent getting hit back. And with damage reduction in her weapon, she is pretty safe to attack into an enemy. So on the combat front, she is pretty strong. On the support front, she's just a little awkward to me, like the way they build her up. I mean, I still say they should have just given her the sing and dance. But oh well. And finally, Gatekeeper, which is a very unique game unit in this game. Nobody in the game can do what he does, like with his super obstruct. But I guess if you were to compare him, like the unit that is most comparable to him would be like Duo Alphonse. Both of them are min-max units who pretty much operate mostly on enemy phase. Of course, dual phones can operate on player phase if he has his special ready, but both of them, their stat setup is very similar. They do operate a little different, of course. Dual phones special being that it prevents follow-ups and guaranteed follow-up and all that other stuff, while the Gatekeeper is mostly just about tanking, like being able to tank and being able to protect his allies by using the obstruct ability. So like I said, on that regard, he's very, very unique. Okay, we got Marianne. So all we need is Erica, so we'll be sparking for Erica. Minus res plus def, so like probably the worst IBs for her, because she does have usable res, not great res, but usable. At least it doesn't touch her attack and speed, which are her main things, but yeah. Also, Requiem Dance could have just like been like Glimmer, like it just been like do the damage that Glimmer does, like the 50% damage, since it's a 3-turn cooldown. See, the problem is a 3-turn cooldown with no damage is just, they could have done a little better for her. But yeah, attack speed unity preventing her from losing attack and speed. Phantom Tome giving her that minus speed and rest to her enemies, so she is all about that speed. I just wish they had, given her a little more, even though like I'm definitely not the biggest Marianne fan out there. I still think like they should have done it, and it would have been good for like the people who actually do like her. But yeah, back to the Gatekeeper. The only problem I have with Gatekeeper is, of course, his special skill is a Beast Slot, which means he can't really run Null City Disrupt, and he would be a unit that would be great with Null City Disrupt, because that would guarantee that he's actually protecting everybody, Null City Disrupt would allow him to counter against all the healers that are definitely safe to attack into him. Oh. Alright, so we're gonna free summon Erica right now, because she's the only one that we're missing. I do want extra copies, so I am gonna go till I get a second spark. Even though I pretty much got lucky. Everybody I seen, everybody who's summoning videos I saw, they got extremely unlucky and they were only able to pick up at least one unit before sparking. So I know I got really lucky on this banner, but I still I'm going for the second spark. Hopefully I can get at least another Erica, since she's the one I'm most one of all, because she will allow me some strategies in Aether raid that I want to try, especially hit and run, since hit and run has become so powerful in Aether raids. So now let's talk about the impact these units are bringing onto Aether raids, because they are definitely gonna leave a mark in Aether raids. So we'll start with Marv, since he's the most straightforward. He's just a tank. He's a tank. He tanks things. He's a tank. So for him, I believe that not light season. Ostracism would be his best place because Ashera lives there, and Ashera prevents panic. And since Marv relies so much, not so much on his own boss, but the boss of his allies, being able to protect those allies from panic effects is really, really good. So he will probably find his best place in ostracism with Ashera, providing, of course, she also provides him with rest. So she would definitely be the best mythic companion for him. On light season tends to be a little more. You want to be a little more offensive on light season nowadays, due to Pathfinder or not. So, if you're gonna use him, I think Astra is the best place to use him over light season. But yeah, like I said, he's the most straightforward, just a tank. We'll go with next Marianne. While I do think she can be used on offense, I think defense is her where she would work better in Aether raids. Either dark or anima, it really doesn't matter. Probably best anima because she might actually get messed up herself by Pathfinder. Instead of helping her out, it might mess her up, depending on how you build a team and how the enemy engages engages your team. But the reason I say I think she's better on defense is because you can set up a rally trap into a dancer and then have her move in a way that she can attack and refresh the dancer that just ended up behind her, so they're able to just dance her again. Now, well, this is also on defense. You're okay, so we got her again. We're talking about her. You're more likely to be able to use infantry pulse to get her cooldown ready. This does mean that she will. Oh, plus speed. This is, if we merge the other one into this one, we'll have, yeah, a really good Marianne. But yeah, you'll have to watch out for, of course, pulse smokes and stuff like that. So I would still suggest that if you do it, you still give her like a flashing blade seal, just to make her more consistent on doing what she's doing. But I do think defense is where she will shine. Same thing with Gatekeeper. Gatekeeper, I also believe that his best place is on defense. Mostly just because on defense you're able to spread out your buildings throughout the map, while on offense all your buildings are at the bottom. So he has more opportunities to be near a destructible object that gives him the full power of his weapon without having to have the units within the space that they require. Now, I would say to use him with a near save unit on defense, so he can be a frontline unit preventing people from passing around him. And then if you're gonna use him with a near save unit, preferably a blue unit, so Pirate Sorter or Hector, because what you're gonna want to be more careful about is, of course, win season with legendary Sigurd. And even if not, a lot of people just who just do the go up 1 week, down 1 week from to Bolt of Heaven. A lot of times they don't care. They just bring out of season mythics or out of season legendaries. So you still have to watch out for players like that on non-win seasons. But on win season, definitely you will Legendary Sigurd will definitely you have a higher chance of encountering him. Especially, this is why I don't think he will be that great on offense as well, just because Legendary Sigurd is more likely to appear on non-win seasons on defense than he is on offense. And Legendary Sigurd will just trample over the Gatekeeper. Ooh, Lycidia. Unfortunately, she is not a unit that has been demoted, so she does take my rate. Plus HP, I think I already have a plus attack or plus speed. Although I might use her for time pulse. But yeah, 2 units like Legendary Sigurd, I don't believe that he would be great on offense. That being said, I guess you could also use him on offense with a near save blue unit. Again, Surtur, Pyro Surtur, or Brave Hector. The only problem is that at that point the enemy will have attack into your team with their Sigurd, meaning that all the other units have an increased range. So if you're gonna use him on offense, you will have to use him the way people are using Guinevere and Micaiah right now, which is as a front line to a near save tank. And Gatekeeper would be able to do that job not as great as they do it, because the way they do it is by damage reduction and guarantee follow-up on Micaiah, and with Guinevere just straight up having weapon effectiveness against mages. Alright, I got Erica. I got 2 Ericas, which is what I wanted. Plus HP. Again, not best IBs, but I guess we'll keep that neutral one. But on defense, he will completely kill any Wings of Mercy strats, like Air Force type of plays, or any place that relies on one unit going in to Gale Force and then bringing in the Wings of Mercy to Gale Force or dance them. So he will completely nullify those type of plays, since he prevents enemies from teleporting in within 4 spaces of him. And Wings of Mercy specifically, you need to teleport right next to whoever just attacked. So being able, he completely shuts down those type of plays, which means he forces the enemy to be more either play more of a tank role or a hit and run strategy. So it completely prevents you from getting hit with those type of teams. Now those type of teams are not the most common, but they are the most effective. Like usually people who use those kinds of teams, they're very adept at doing them. They're very good at doing those type of plays. So those are the type of people you're gonna encounter the most, like the ones that are really good at it, and those are the ones you're gonna shut down the most. So that gives him something that no other unit can do in the game: shut down Wings of Mercy. I guess again on offense he would be able to do that too, like prevent himself from Wings of Mercy beacons. Linde. There is so much hair. Yeah. And then finally Erica. Erica functions well on both defense and offense. You don't want her to be to be standing in the front line, of course, just because if you're going on defense, because if she can get sniped, she's frail. on enemy phase. So if she's attacked into, she's the most frail that way. So you want to set her up at some kind of rally trap, so it allows her to just move forward and then go in. You just don't want her to be exposed if you're gonna use her on a defense team, because that will just kill her potential. But on offense, which hit and run is becoming one of the most consistent strats and best strats to use right now, especially with the fence. The fence allows you to do so many hit and run strategies that you could never do before, because all you have to do is stay out of the range of the enemies after you kill a unit, and you get to kill a unit for free, prevent them from moving on turn 1, and it allows you to be on a better position to start your turn 2. So Erica can do that, especially because she has Kanto, and she's pretty much guaranteed to kill whatever she hits into, with like very few exceptions. Like probably Bike is one of the only units that will be able to survive her attacks, just because she doesn't have true damage, she has boosted damage. But yeah, so someone like Bike would probably be one of the few units who could survive her. But armor units, she has armor effectiveness. I guess Brave Hector cheats by getting rid of his armor effectiveness, so he might be able to stop her. He won't be able to stop her from doubling him, but he might be able to stop her from killing him. Especially if there's a flame or a Nephil somewhere providing that damage reduction support. But yeah, so on offense, hit and run strategies becoming really strong, and Erica coming in specifically to play into that new hit and run meta makes her a very good unit. She can also deal with Fallen Edelgar, which Fallen Edelgar on defense team stands, especially if they're built well in order to prevent Fallen Edelgar from de-transforming. She can be a pain in the ass to get rid of. But Erica can just go in, attack into her, and use her armor effectiveness and her damage reduction to just kill her. Marianne could also go against Fallen Edelgar, just because she's also has damage reduction. So although she will have a harder time actually killing Fallen Edelgar in one turn of combat. But yeah, so hit and run, both on offense and defense, are very strong strats. Being able to hit an enemy and then get out of the way is just really strong right now. And Erica playing into that meta makes her the strongest unit. If I can get Marv right here, then I can just completely stab without having any pity rate, but no, we'll have some pity rate left over. So we'll free someone, the Gatekeeper. We already got two Erica's and two Marianne's. So the only one I only have one copy of is Marv. We'll keep the plus defense. And we are at a 3.75. This lasts for 80 more days, so during the legendary hero battle, the mythic hero summoning session, I might come back to this one just to close out the raid. Maybe, maybe not, we'll see. But this does conclude this summoning session. Let's take a look at what we got. Alright, so starting from Marv, minus attack plus speed. So again, the minus attack is what hurts him. So if I can get a second one, definitely will merge that one into him, because plus speed is really good, especially with his spur. Then we got the Gatekeeper, which is a plus defense minus attack. We'll definitely be keeping up this one and merging the other one into him. We got this Albindi, which is just going to be green dual infantry fodder, unfortunately for him. The first Marianne being a plus def minus res, really bad IBs. Neutral Erica, of course. And then a much better IB wise Marianne, just because we do have two, so we can get rid of that Bane. We have the Marshmallow over here, plus HP, but like I said, I already have a better one. Erica, which will get merged into the neutral one because plus HP is not as great. Lynn, which she doesn't really bring anything, like nothing, so she just gets merged into the other ones. And the Gatekeeper. So, let's see. If we do this, we automatically put her on top. So yeah, we do have a neutral one and a plus speed one, so this Marshmallow will probably get merged into this one over here. And we'll keep one for Time Pulse, of course, because we can pass Time Pulse and Deplo 4 or Low Speed Rest and Deplo 4. So I don't mind keeping one of them just for fodder, but I can at least have her plus one now. As for Linde is not from Fodland. She is from... Actually, I don't remember where she's from. She's from Marv's game, so... Alright, so yeah, we got this one, which is a plus 2. And then we have this two, which, again, she doesn't provide anything for fodder-wise, so we'll probably just merge her into this one. 2 plus res and 1 plus def, so I guess plus res is better. More iceberg damage, nothing big. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, I guess I can show you my Helbindi. So yeah, we got 4 Helbindis. So just green dual infantry. I'll definitely keep one. Might merge another one into him, but just green dual infantry 3 to be able to patch green dual infantry 4 from another unit is useful, even though I don't use it as much. It is still something. But yeah, that pretty much concludes this summoning session. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.